back to Linda's Pantry, and today I get to show you another Thrive starter box, and I also am going to answer some questions. I've had a ton of questions about Thrive and how this whole thing works, and so I'm going to address some of those while I go through the box with you, and we're going to make a recipe because I need a side dish for tonight, and I think that I've got it. So let's do a review of sorts and kind of give you an idea of what comes in here. Now, the starter boxes, there's three different ones. There's a Southwest chicken, pulled pork, and I showed you that box, and the chili verde. And I'm telling you, that rivaled my homemade scratch verde, and I've got it done in about 15 minutes. So this box is the ground beef one, so all the recipes revolve around that. So it gives you an idea, and there's usually, let's see, here's our recipe cards. And these are nice because you can put these in a binder and have them for whenever you want to repeat the recipe if you like it. So, okay, so in this, your top card, this is what you're going to see. And the spices that came with this box is Italian seasoning, and I have not tried this one yet. I have tried the cilantro, the parsley, the chef's choice, but I have not tried that, so that's exciting. Okay, so in this box, your recipes include healthy or hearty calzone, Italian baked penne, classic shepherd's pie, loaded refried beans, and a vegetable medley. So they give you a pretty good variety of what you can do with this. That looks good. What is that? It also tells you what you're going to need from your own pantry on, like on the front of the card, and how many it serves. The calzone serves 6, so be sure and look up in the right-hand corner of how many. And these are just beautiful pictures. Look at that. And then that's all the Thrive products you need. If there's any optional products that you need, down here, red pepper flakes, of course. And this is 6 steps. And that's including making your own dough. And their dough is delicious, just let me tell you. It's wonderful. It smells like pizzeria when you're rising that dough. Okay, so baked penne. We've got classic shepherd's pie. That looks delicious. Let's see. This is weeknight tacos. And I think we're going to do this because we are having tacos tonight. I'm going to be using steak out of that's left over from the other night. So we're going to have steak tacos, but I want to make refried beans. So we're going to make their refried beans. And this recipe is for, it takes 21 minutes, start to finish, and it serves 6. I might cut that in half because it's just Michael and I. So I might cut that in half and grab from your kitchen butter, minced garlic, salt, water, Cholula, and a half a cup of Colby Jack or cheddar. Now I do have Thrive's Jack cheese, so I think I'm going to use that. I'll refresh that and let it go for a little while. And then a vegetable medley, and doesn't that look beautiful? So easy. Okay, so that's what you see in the top of the box. And just like the other box I showed you, and then inside are 9 pantry cans. And that's all the ingredients. We have the instant refried beans, and that's what we'll be using. Classic tomato sauce, and this is like if you had a jarred pasta sauce, that's the equivalent. That's what this is. It's already got the spices and everything in it. Very easy to use. We've got onions, chopped onions. This one is the mashed potatoes, one of my favorites. And the ground beef, freeze-dried ground beef. Everything's freeze-dried. We've got, now this is from the bakery. This is the Country White dough mix, and that's what we're going to make our calzone dough with. And I'll make sure I do a video for those recipes. Leave me a comment down below if you'd like to see those recipes done, and I'll give you my honest review. We've got green beans. Let's see, this corn, this sweet corn, it's non-GMO. And that's a question I get quite often, is it organic and is it non-GMO? And if they can verify that it's non-GMO, they will definitely use it. Some items cannot be verified, but they do their best to do that. And then they do have organic options, but not in absolutely everything. And the thing is, it isn't always going to be cost effective for you. So they usually give you a choice of organic or not. And then tomato dices. Now, I just tried these, and it's like a burst of flavor. Amazing flavor. So I'm excited for these recipes. Okay, the other question I got is, do they auto ship? And yes, they do. In fact, Thrive is really the company for us as consultants. It's great because people can go in and set up, a consumer can go in and set up a grocery box for as little as $25 a month. And I first went in and I picked the things that I knew I was going to waste, like celery. I waste celery all the time. Mushrooms, I don't always get to use all the mushrooms, and I don't always get them on the dehydrator. So celery, mushrooms, onions, I like to have that on the shelf too, because you know, sometimes I only need a half an onion. By the time I go back a couple days later to use it, it's already going bad. So I set up my grocery box with items I knew I was going to waste. If you need to, you can skip a month. And it auto ships. You go in and edit before your ship date. You can change your ship date. I just did that. You can, like I personally ordered simple plates because I knew there's at least 3 days, 4 days a month that I've got that, oh my gosh, what am I going to make for dinner? I forgot, and we don't have any leftovers. Or I anticipated leftovers and somebody ate more than I anticipated. And so, that being said, yes, they have an auto ship program and it's wonderful. And the rewards to that is you then, if you spend $100, you get free shipping. So that's free shipping in the US and Canada. Now, Alaska and Hawaii, it's half off. But the benefits of having this on the shelf and not having to worry. And September is preparedness month. And I can tell you right now, with everything that's been going on with the hurricanes and this weather, it would benefit you to have this kind of stuff on the shelf, even if you didn't use it in your everyday cooking. But I use it in my everyday. Every day I'm grabbing this. I made myself a cup of soup for lunch. I used their vegetarian chicken bouillon. I used the chicken. I put bell peppers, tomatoes, onion, and diced chilies in there. It was wonderful, and it literally took me as long as it took to get the water hot because everything is cooked. It just needs a couple of minutes to refresh. And I didn't waste anything. I made the bowl of soup I wanted, and that was it. And I ate it, and it's gone, and all the ingredients are still at my access. So the other question was about compensation program. And so any of you that were interested in getting involved with me and being a consultant, and those of you that already did jump on board, and I appreciate you, and I'm wishing you all the best, because I think a lot of you have some really good plans on how you're going to market Thrive. And there's a variety of ways you can. One of my consultants is going to be doing farmers markets every week. Another one is marketing through up in Alaska because of having to travel out into the tundra and the weight, restrictions when they fly, all that stuff. So there's tons of reasons why. And then, of course, the home parties or the home tastings. Those are easy to do, and taste buds don't lie. This stuff is delicious. So if you're interested in trying it out, I would advise you get one of these starter boxes and try it out. We're going to have a giveaway coming up, so everybody that I actually am going to find out if I can put everybody that places an order in a drawing, and all the consultants that sign up in the month of September as well. And so if I can figure out who ordered in the month of September, I will do a drawing for one of these boxes, and I gave away a box last month, and then another drawing for any consultants that signed up in the month of September. Okay, so that being said, we are at it's almost dinner time. We need to get the refried beans done, and I'm totally excited to taste this. Instant refried beans, and that is they pre-cook them and then they freeze dry them. I believe they're freeze dried. They're either freeze dried or they're dehydrated, but you refresh them and you're good to go. And these look wonderful. Look at that. Yummy. But I don't need servings for 6. So make sure that you check how many servings, because some of them are 4, some of them are 6, and then after you've done all these recipes, and that's how many? 2, 4, 6 recipes. You still got stuff here in the box, food left over. And so when you figure out the cost of these is $105 with shipping. And if you're a preferred customer because you've set up a grocery box, you can get free shipping on that. So that's nice. And then for $105, you've got 6 meals, or some of them are side dishes, but you've got enough to do plenty more because you're only going to use the bread dough mix once for the calzones, and then you can make loaves of bread, you can make pizza dough with that. Absolutely wonderful. So that being said, let's get to making refried beans, and I hope I answered some of the questions that are coming in, and I'd love to have you on my team. My first month was unbelievable. I am blown away about the compensation program, and I wouldn't steer you wrong. It's fantastic. And with very little effort on your part, I know that you can be successful at this too. I'm on track, and it's still early. It's only the 6th or the 5th. I'm on track to more than double what I made last month, and we've got a great team to back up and help you be successul. So, anyways, let's get cooking and forget all that stuff. All right, I need refried beans. Let's get over to the stuff. Okay, guys, come on. We're gonna do the recipe now. This is called loaded refried beans. I'm only gonna do half the recipe because I don't need servings for 6. And so it calls for 1 whole can, pantry can, of instant refried beans, 1/3 of a cup of onions, and then to grab from your own kitchen, 2 tablespoons of butter, which I have right here. And actually I need to cut that back, because I don't need 2 tablespoons, I need 1, right? So we're gonna go ahead and take 1 of those out of there. Put it back on the butter dish. Okay. 2 tablespoons, or a tablespoon of garlic, and I've got a little bit more here because I'm also using it in a different recipe. Minced salt, water, 3 cups of water, so 1.5 cups of water, 2 teaspoons of Cholula, which I might stick with 2 teaspoons. We like it spicy. And 1/2 cup of Colby Jack or cheddar cheese. Now, I refreshed some of the Jack cheese from Thrive for a couple hours in the refrigerator. And all you really do is put your cheese in there, your freeze-dried cheese. You sprinkle just a very little bit and really get the water distributed and leave it sit like that. And a couple hours later, come back in. It's just like you just grated it. It's delicious. I do have some cheddar cheese that I grated on the box grater for topping, and I've got some green onions and all that when we garnish. So, how easy is that? Okay, we need salt and some water. Do you guys want to come in close and see what's going on? Because I want you to see the texture of the refried beans. It almost reminds me of... So we've got our butter in here, so that's 1 tablespoon. We want about 1/2 tablespoon of garlic, and we love garlic, so don't be shy, okay? That's going in your saucepan. You actually are supposed to preheat your oven to 350, and in a medium-sized pan, saute your garlic and onions. So we need, how many onions? 1/3, well, the full recipe is 1/3 of a cup. So we're gonna go ahead with, as close as my guesstimation can do, 1/2 of this 1/3 cup measuring cup. And all these onions smell so good, and that's what they look like. And you get a lot for your money. I've used these over and over. And then 1/2 can, and look at these refried beans. Can you see how that is? It's It's just like a crispy flat thing. So I'm gonna guesstimate half of this can. And I've already taken the oxygen absorber out because, put some of that back. Once you open this, it doesn't work anymore, and you're not airtight with just this lid on. You've got a year to use this, so don't sweat it. If you live in a really humid climate, they do sell some, what am I doing? I was supposed to saute. So I accidentally started to pour my refried beans in here and realized, no, I need to saute this. So I'm gonna start the saute. You don't have to saute it for very long. I'm not very good at following recipes, but, and then we'll go ahead and add in our salt, our water, and bring to a simmer, then add the rest of our beans. So let's go over to the stove, and this is how easy it is.
So we're sauteing. Ooh, it smells good. The butter, we're letting that melt down with the onions and the garlic, and I can already smell the garlic. So finish melting this butter, and it's not going to hurt these beans to get in here, but certainly would have been a little bit easier. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add my Cholula, and remember, we're sticking with 2 teaspoons of Cholula. That sauce is not that hot, but it does have a wonderful flavor. And then about a half a teaspoon of salt, because these beans don't have any seasoning. Okay, now we're going to add our water. Keep your temp right where it is. Add the rest of my half of the beans here. There we go. And we're gonna let this come up to a simmer and refresh. And all that means is this is refreshing back to the fresh state it was flash frozen and freeze dried in. So now, as soon as this comes up, and it says that they'll become creamy very quickly. So as soon as these become creamy, we're going to take them over. I have 2 cast iron ramekins that we're going to load them up in, so we'll each have an individual serving of delicious refried beans, and I can top the cheese on there. So, okay, we're going to let this just simmer away for a few minutes, and I'll give you a rough idea how long that takes. And let's go over to the counter. Okay, so this is our finished product, and I'm just going to put the onions on one. My husband isn't home yet, so I don't want to garnish his because it may have to be popped back in the oven. It literally was in there 10 minutes. So this recipe right there is going to go in a binder. And let me get a taste of this. Let's see how, ooh, look at that. Creamy and delicious. Hot, whoa, hot. And this will go alongside our dinner. Ooh, it's hot, but look at that. Oh my gosh, these are so good. It's gonna be hard to stay out of them until dinner time. And you could garnish this with red pepper flakes as well, but these are so good. And I love the onions and the garlic in here. You know, I thought loaded refried beans, they're only loaded with onions and garlic. It's perfection. The onions still have a little bit of a bite to them, and it just flavors the whole thing. They are really, really good. And of course, cheese is optional. You don't have to top it with cheese, but who doesn't love refried beans with cheese? Absolutely wonderful. Creamy. You would never know that you didn't make them from scratch. I mean, and spend hours getting these ready. So they taste way better than anything you could get out of a can. I don't eat refried beans out of a can, but quite often I home can green beans and I make refried beans. So these are a great alternative, like if we go camping or I'm out of beans in the pantry and I need another option, I can always turn to this. So guys, if you like this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up. There's always links down below to check it out if you want. And
If there's a recipe that you'd like to see that I showed you earlier, go ahead and post that down below and let me know so I can share it with you. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.